Guys, this is SJ Football 16. It's been a long break from the Premier League through the European Championships, but now those are finished, I am able to get underway with a new season of the Premier League, as it's in a month's time. So I'm going to start with the early game kickoff between Hull City and Leicester City. Hull City got promoted from the playoffs from the Championship last season, and Leicester City are the current holders of the Premier League. I don't really have any doubt who's going to win this. I think it's going to be Leicester City to win this. I think it's going to be 2-0 to Leicester. Hull City, I don't really see them having much of a chance this season in the Premier League. And also, I think Leicester will still keep on carrying on to win games this season. I'm not too sure if they're going to win the Premier League yet again, but still, I think they'll definitely get the win against Hull City. They have a much better team than them, and they have much more passion than them to get the final result. Now I'm going to head over to the first 3 o'clock game between Burnley and Swansea City. Burnley are another side that's been promoted. They got promoted as champions from the Sky Bet Championship, and Swansea they finished around mid-table last season. Although I said Hull were going to lose as one of the newly promoted sides, I actually think Burnley are going to win this one. I think it's going to be 2-0 to Burnley. Swansea, I don't think Swansea are going to have that great of a season next season, in all fairness. And Burnley, I think they have a really good bunch of players. I think they could definitely stay up this season. They got Sam Vokes and Andre Gray, a perfect striking partnership. But they'll definitely be able to get some goals in this season. And I don't think Swansea aren't really that good. Their only player that I consider that great is Ashley Williams, maybe, but that's pretty much it. They don't have a great team apart from that. So yeah. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Crystal Palace and West Bromwich Albion. This is a side where Tony Pulis used to manage Crystal Palace, and West Brom, I'm not sure if they're going to have a great season in all fairness either, and neither do I think Crystal Palace are. However, I think Crystal Palace could get the win today. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Crystal Palace. They've made a few good signings, Crystal Palace, so I think they'll turn out the better in this fixture. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Everton and Tottenham. Everton, they've recently got Ronald Koeman as their manager, and Tottenham, they finished 3rd last season, and I'm not sure if they're going to have a great season in all fairness either. Nowhere near as good as it was last season. Maybe around 5th, 6th or 7th, somewhere like that. And Everton, I think they'll definitely have an improvement this season. I think Everton are going to get the win in this one. And I think it's going to be 2-1. Because they have great players. They have Romelu Lukaku up front. They have Ross Barkley in midfield. They have Leighton Baines, Phil Jagielka, John Stones in defence. So their squad is really good for next season. And I think it could turn out to be quite good. Now I'm going to head over to a game with another newly promoted side in Middlesbrough. And they'll be playing Stoke, who finished 9th and want to carry on with that consistency next season. I think Middlesbrough could give quite a good go at the Premier League sides this season as well. I'm not sure if they're going to have a great finish to the end of the season, but I think this particular game, I think is going to finish 1-1. This is because new boys generally don't win straight away in their first game in the Premier League, and against a tough side like Stoke, it will be tough to beat them. But Stoke generally don't have the best first game in the Premier League, so this is why I think the final score is going to be 1-1. It will be a satisfactory result for Middlesbrough in the end, but not quite with the win. Now I'm going to head over to the final 3 o'clock game between Southampton and Watford. I think the score in this is going to be 2-2, so I think it's going to be really tight. Kike Flores left their club, but they still have pretty much the same squad, I think, and I think they could bring in a few more players. I reckon they'll definitely improve this season in all fairness. So I think it's going to be 2-2. Southampton, I don't think, are going to do too well this season. Sadio Mane has left. Graziano Pella has left. and I think maybe a few more players might leave as well. It might end up being even worse for them than it is already, and also they lost Ronald Koeman as their manager, so it's not great. I think it's going to be 2-2 draw. There is going to be a close affair between these two clubs. Now I'm going to head over to the 5:30 game on the Saturday between Manchester City and Sunderland. I have no doubt who's going to win this one as well. I'm going to say Manchester City are going to win 2-0. There's been speculation with Sunderland, with Sam Allardyce possibly having the England job, and they might lose him before the season starts. However, if he does stay, I reckon they'll stay up if he stays another season. But in this particular game, I don't think they have any hope of winning. In all fairness, Sunderland they have quite a decent squad. Sam Allardyce has brought in some good players, but I don't think they're going to beat Man City. Man City are just too good for them. Now I'm going to head over to the earlier Sunday kickoff between AFC Bournemouth and Manchester United. I reckon Bournemouth could have another solid season in the Premier League. They stayed up last season, and I think they could make an improvement this season. Eddie Howe is also linked to the England job, and I think he is a really good young manager. He has a good bunch of players, and they could be quite good. Although they've lost some of their good players like Matt Ritchie, Elphick, I still think it could be quite a good player. They've brought in Cook from Leeds, who's quite good. So I think they could have another good season. I think it's gonna, and they generally do well against the big sides. But however, as Man United are a completely different team with Jose Mourinho coming in as manager and a few more signings coming in. I think Man United are going to get the upper hand on this one. I think it's going to be a really close game, but I think it's going to be 3-2 to Manchester United, because Bournemouth can play really well on some games, and they beat Man United last year, but I think Man United are just completely different, so I think they're going to get the upper hand in the end. Now I'm going to head over to the later kickoff on the Sunday between Arsenal and Liverpool. I think the score in this is going to be 2-1 to Arsenal. I'm going to say it's going to be quite close. Liverpool, I don't think are going to make the top four this season. They'll have a similar season to last season, but it will be an improvement, I should think. They brought in Sadio Mane. He's quite good, and they could bring in a few other signings in as well. There's rumours a few of their players might leave, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen in the end. So yeah, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Arsenal. Arsenal definitely have a better squad than Liverpool, and they're able to perform well on the day. I think Arsenal could definitely be in a bid for the title. They might not win it exactly, but I think they'll definitely have a closer battle than last season. It will be quite a close battle between Man City, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, teams like that. I think it could be a close battle between those four clubs. And finally, I'm going to head over to the Monday kickoff between Chelsea and West Ham United. Chelsea did not have a great season at all last season, and West Ham had a great season considering they finished 12th the season before that. They finished 7th in the end, which is quite satisfactory for their team. They're moving to their new stadium. They're moving to the Olympic Stadium, which should bring in passion for their players next season. However, I think Chelsea are going to get the upper hand on this one. Their squad is going to play completely differently next season. I think they'll definitely make the top four and even bid for the title. I think it's going to be 1-0 to Chelsea in the end. Antonio Conte is a great manager, and he could bring passion to the players, and I think they'll definitely get the upper hand. That's all from me for today, guys. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel. Don't forget to comment on any changes you think should be made in order to improve these predictions. See you guys next time.